My Dirty Little Secret, Stigma, Part 1. This is my true story. Am I sane or not? Am I going through a spiritual battle, or is this really happening? Most of us believe there is a world outside of our world, but when faced with opposition, unreal scenarios to the one suffering, it is undoubtedly real. I often wonder how much of what I go through mentally is a spiritual attack, or how much is just my imagination gone wild. It's a daily battle of the mind. Good versus evil. What choices will make today? My sister says everyone hears voices. It's just a matter of what voice that person chooses to listen to. But what happens when that voice becomes many? Not just one voice deciphering good or evil, but many voices who decide it is their right to make choices for you, or abuse you mentally, telling you who they think you are and what you should do. One Monday morning, I woke up to one voice that became many. Then I started to hallucinate. I would cry out to the Father, God, Jesus of Nazareth. I asked, why is this my cup? Haven't I been faithful? I also know that this too shall pass. But then, at the end of the day, I know that this is my cup for me to share my story, so that I might help someone else make it through, so that someone will see there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that there is a way out. You just have to believe. With the help of my family, friends, and to the one who gets all the glory, my God. Do I feel I need to be in a mental institution? Sometimes when I'm going through an episode, yes, to take the burden off my family. Then, eventually, I become catatonic, in layman's terms, not all there, coma-like state. It is hard for my family to see me like that. So when the realization of this becomes clear, I start to cry. Even though I'm going through the madness, it's hard to remember things. At the age of 31 and sitting in the ER because I just had an anxiety attack that masqueraded as a heart attack due to schizoaffective disorder, I know that something is clearly wrong. When you have schizoaffective disorder, it is hard. There's no sense of time. I could look at the calendar, go to sleep, and wake up, and it's a month later. It consumes every aspect of your life, so needless to say, you will not have one. Living with a mental illness does not affect just the person diagnosed, but also the people in their life. It is stressful. Living with a relative who has schizoaffective disorder. Every day is different. When you never know what to expect. So monitoring is always key, and taking medication is key, but finding the right medication is the most important factor. It is best to remember finding the right medication takes time, because what works for one person may not necessarily work for someone else. In my case, it took 7 years. So with much prayer and knowing that God is with me, lightens the load even though it's heavy. Nobody ever said the grieving process would be easy. So that's when it happened for the second time. My aunt died that night. I start crying in my bed. Then my mind snaps. I hear a voice telling me there's nothing left for me here, on earth that is. The voice said he is an angel, and that his mission is to take me to the other side. So as a Christian, I know the other side is real, but that was a lie. Who wants to see large insects, demons, good or bad angels, asking you to pick a side? I'm only human. I don't know what happens when we die. All I know is that I am a Christian, and through my faith, I believe I will go to heaven. My sister said, is the food talking to you again? What is it saying this time? What do you think you're eating? She asked. Then she said, why are you letting the enemy win? My mom said, it's just Satan trying to use your fears against you. In a sense, I truly believe we are always going through a spiritual battle. My sister says, some people are susceptible to the unknown. I don't know if that's true, but when you have schizoaffective disorder, every sense is grander, so the unknown was blurred in my perception of reality. I'm sitting in the parking lot of the doctor's office in tears. The doctor turned me away. There is nothing they can do to help me. I told the doctor I heard voices again. I just needed to get some sleep. I went there for sleeping pills. Then to no avail, the doctor says, I'm sorry, but you have to go to your mental health doctor. If you ever need a physical doctor, please come back and see me. I was devastated because I did not want to go to the mental health office. Then I will have to admit that even with the proper health, taking vitamins and exercising, I am mentally ill. Schizoaffective disorder is hard illness because each episode I believe that what's happening in my mind is real. This time my family put a lock on my door for fear I would run off to God knows where. So I packed my bags and I was sitting in my car for hours in the garage until they found me. My family refused to put me in a mental hospital. Continue to part 2.